Welcome to the Anti-Social Handbook for the Social Sciences. Today we're going to talk about the economic concept of generational wealth. In the simplest of terms, generational wealth means if your parents and grandparents have money, you're more likely to have money. More importantly than liquid cash flow, however, is wealth, meaning property and ownership of other assets that can be passed down, inherited by the next generation. In the case of the United States, the baby boomer generation holds the lion's share of wealth. According to Bloomberg and the Federal Reserve data from 2022, boomers collectively control $59.6 trillion, which is double Generation X's 28.5 and more than 10 times what millennials own. In fact, millennials control just over 5% of wealth in this country, despite being the largest generation in the workforce. And this does not even take into account the racial wealth gap, which is worse today than it was 60 years ago. Largely, this is the result of a process called redlining and prejudicial banking rules that artificially suppressed property values in minority communities. We'll discuss that in a later episode. So why does generational wealth matter? You might say, my parents did okay, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Your parents might have made you work for everything. They might not have spoiled you rotten, but if you lived in a wealthier middle-class family, you likely lived in a wealthier middle-class neighborhood and went to a school that reflected this. This often equates to better educational opportunities and a network of peers who are in a similar financial bracket. Generational wealth has an impact on your life well before it comes to receiving any kind of inheritance. And in a world where the average person's generational wealth comes from home ownership, minority groups who have had institutional barriers to home ownership and grossly devalued properties, it has created a very uneven playing field.